What's up, everybody? It's Glenn and Big Jack back with another episode of the Fade YouTube Sports Podcast. We have another best bets of the NFL weekend video this week. Jack and I both go 1-2 last week in week 7, bringing our records to 7-14 for me and 9-12 for the Tall Mans. Not a great first half of the season for us to this point, but man, we're hoping to find some winners this week and start turning that tide. Jack, any thoughts other than just trying to find a way to find some winners?
No excuses. It's got to get better. Parts of me feel like it's, if you went back and broke it all down, it's not as bad as as it sounds. The records are what they are. There's no way around it. And yeah, it's got to start trending in a much better direction over the course of a little more than, I don't know, what's there, about 10 weeks left. So got to start making some moves fast.
Yeah, we got to start making some moves, no doubt. We're not going to waste your guys' time at home. We're going to hop right into the picks, I think. I'll go in my first pick. At first I was looking at this Dallas-Denver game, and I was like, I kind of like Dallas. Zach's been having a great year. But the more I think about it, I think I just got to stick to my principles of good defense against the bad defense, and I'm going to go with Denver minus 3.5 at home versus the Cowboys. Dak has been great this season. He really does look like one of the best quarterbacks in the league to me. He's got some great weapons too. I don't have a whole lot of problems with the Cowboys' offense side of the ball. It's the defensive side of the ball, and I'm hoping the Broncos just show up to play. They're on a pretty good streak right now. I am a little bit worried that they're not gonna have a sense of urgency here, but I'm hoping that Kansas City playing so tough in their division that they got no reason to lay off the gas and they find a way to get a win and cover that 3.5 point spread. Denver minus 3.5 is my first pick of the week.
Absolutely love it. I love it so much. I'm also on it. I'm on Denver minus 3.5. It was probably going to be one of the last ones or the last one I lit out because it was kind of teetering back and forth between some other things out on the board. But since you called it, I'm just going to jump right on back of it. I absolutely love that play. I think Denver got a little undone by the travel back from London and maybe a little bit of a lull in the schedule there with the cross-conference game, at home. They probably thought they were going to be able to walk through it. They didn't, but I got to think they'll be able to ride some of the momentum. I mean, what a fourth quarter, scoring 33 points in an all-time type of comeback game. I think they'll be a little more dialed in. I think Sean Payton will have them firing on all cylinders this week. And we kind of talked about it last week. Denver has some really, really tasty trends at home in the Bo Nix era as far as what they've done straight up. In a lot of games, they've been dogs and against the spread in general. I absolutely love Denver this week. I'm on that 3.5 as well. It's actually even money right now as we talk about it live. So even money, 3.5, no juice. I'll take it all day. I think Denver blows them out. A team with Dallas, who I think is a little, looking good right now. I think people are starting to buy in, and every time people start to buy in on Dallas, that's when it seems to go the other way. Love Denver minus 3.5.
Love to hear it. I think there's been one game this season, if my memory serves right, where we were on the same side, and it was a winner. So hopefully we could move to 2-0 on games that we are on the same side. Real quick side note, one game I was really leaning on, but I decided to go away from, just too scared of Buffalo off the bye week. I was going to go with the Panthers +7. I think that's a lot of points with how the Panthers are playing against that Buffalo run defense, which is not that strong, but I decided to not pick that game. So that's just a quick little side note. My second pick of the week, I'm going to go against a team that both of us have gone against a few times, team that's a dead dog right now. They're going to go to Atlanta and they're going to get their ass kicked. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons over the Miami Dolphins. 7.5 is a lot of points, in the NFL. I'm not saying Atlanta's offense is like some high-powered machine, but I think Bijan Robinson put up some big stats this weekend, has his way with that Miami defense. And I think that Atlanta defense is kind of flying under the radar to a lot of people. They're doing some good things. I do hope Zach Harrison is back to play in this game. The little bit of Atlanta football I've watched this year, he seems like actually a pretty true difference maker for their defensive line. So I'm going to go with Atlanta minus 7.5 and hope Zach Harrison plays and Bijan Robinson has his way against that Miami defense.
I like that play a lot. I'm not on it myself. That was my one winner last week. Cleveland blew the brakes off of them. It was, never a contest. So I think that that's certainly a team that's reeling, going further and further south. But to your point, that the injury stuff with Dallas does kind of concern me. They had Zach Harrison go down, and they also had that his name escapes me right now, but one of their linebackers who's been a huge addition to that defensive side as well, got injured in like first quarter of that San Fran game.
Are you talking
And he
about
was,
the rookie out of Georgia?
is he a
Walker?
rookie?
Walker?
Yeah,
Is that?
well, no, that's not who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Von Diablo, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Is it
Yep.
Devon or Devin?
I think it's
I don't know.
Divine Diablo, which is a
Yeah,
crazy
it's a
name.
unique first name, but his
Yeah.
last name's Diablo. I'm pretty sure of that. But anyway, he seemed to act like he's a difference maker for them. And when he went down in that San Fran game, they didn't do much of anything to stop Christian McCaffrey. And to that end, like he ain't Christian McCaffrey, but Devon Achane's a pretty damn good player. So I'm not going to get all the way there with you, but I do think that that's the appropriate side there. I'm going to go to the game that you actually did briefly shout. Glad you're not on the Panthers because I'm on the opposite side. I am on the Bills out of the bye, -7. I think that they went into that bye with a couple bad losses, quite frankly, and they haven't really looked great generally. I mean, they had that kind of crazy comeback against the Ravens at home, which the Ravens are 1-5 right now. So who knows how much that really means. And, they haven't looked good in other spots, even when they've won. They haven't covered numbers they didn't cover against a Dolphins team. It was a fairly competitive game. We saw what other squads have been doing to them lately. But I like them to kind of refocus out of the bye. I think it was kind of a reality check for them. A lot of times with these veteran teams, you saw it a little bit with the Chiefs super early on. I feel like they sleepwalk a little bit at times. They don't take the preseason very serious. But now they're well into the season. They got the bye under their belt. They know it's time to go. And, with what Kansas City has been doing along with the other contenders in the AFC, I think they're also going to know there's not much room for air at this point if they're going to want to hold on to any hope for being the number 1 overall seed. So I think they're going to be rearing ready to go. Andy Dalton might be starting for the Panthers. Last I checked at their injury report, it seems like Bryce Young, maybe he'll still play, but I don't know. A lot of things I like about that game. I think Buffalo just blows them out.
Yeah, I'm scared of Buffalo off the bye. That's the whole reason I stayed away from it. And they are one of those teams, like you said, that could flip a switch and look like a different team than they've looked up to this point. Their run defense worries me if I'm on your side, to be honest, against that Carolina rushing attack. Like you said, it sounds like maybe Andy Dalton's going, and if they can, key on the run and kind of hope that they can, man up in the secondary, then things change. So I'm off that game.
The things that worry me, to your point, is it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're talking about the run game. Is I do think Dave Canellis is a pretty damn good coach. And good coaches expose weaknesses better than anybody. And I think he'll be, certainly seeking to do that. But the other thing that worries me about it is Carolina's just good at home. They really are. They are, solid track record at home. So that piece of it kind of did, bring some hesitations, but I still like Buffalo. I think they're ready to roll.
They look like the Buffalo we all know and enjoy to watch. My last pick of the week, man, I feel like a sucker for doing it, but I'm doing it. I'm going with the Colts -14.5 at home versus the Titans. They've been dominant this year, man, and their offense looks good on all cylinders. Taylor looks like the best back in the league. The offensive line looks really good. Tyler Warren might be the best tight end as a rookie. Daniel Jones is balling out. They got like a 4-headed attack at wide receiver. That offense is flying. I'd be surprised if the Colts don't put up big points this weekend. Part of me thought maybe look at like a team total or something like that for Indianapolis, but I'm going to go Indy -14.5. I'm going to try not to overthink it with what line to go, and I'm just going to pick the Colts. It's a huge number. Don't get me wrong. I hate that part of it, but I honestly think the Colts just kill the Titans this weekend. So that's my third pick.
Love it. Back to the well, riding the horse that carried you through to victory last week. Maybe I value coaches too much. I feel like I shout out coaches all the fucking time. But Shane Steichen's another one who I've always advocated for Steichen.
3-4 years you've been on Steichen, man.
Yeah. So it's looking really good. And I mean, not much to add. I think you nailed everything about what Indianapolis is doing and how impressive they've been. Tennessee Titans are in the midst of one of the most improbable runs against the spread. I think they're like 5-23 or something like that. And it's the worst stretch against the number dating all the way back to the 70s. They've just been abysmal. And I mean, I'm one of the morons who's backed them a couple of times. So yikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just another data point in your favor, I suppose. My last game, I'm going to the Sunday night game. It's been decent to me this season. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers +3. There's a lot of good trends about Tomlin at home, as a dog, off a loss, all that sort of thing that goes into it a little bit for me. But honestly, it's the same reason I liked the Steelers in general this season. I think Aaron Rodgers motivated. I think he's the type of guy who is, I don't know, he's a little bit of an oddball, but he seems like he holds a grudge. And, I kind of like that. I kind of dig that mentality. I think he's going to be extra prepared, extra dialed in for this week for a big game at home against the Green Bay Packers. It certainly worries me the way that Micah Parsons looked, certainly broke out against the Cardinals last weekend. And that offensive line in Pittsburgh has not looked impressive at all. But I still think they find a way. I think their defense bounces back a little bit, maybe forces a couple turnovers to kind of flip the game here or there. And I think Rodgers does his thing. I like them to win the game outright, but I'll certainly take the 3 for them to cover that field goal.
I know you're all over the Steelers this season. I get your reasons for being on the Steelers here. I had my eyes on Green Bay if I were going to pick that game, to be honest. I don't know if I'm bought in on the Steelers yet. That's my whole point. So
I mean, they just lost. They
all
just
right.
lost at home to the Bengals. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was on the road. Excuse me, but they just lost to a Bengals team. So yeah, I don't blame you.
All right. My quick recap. My 3 picks. I'm on the Falcons -7.5, Denver Broncos -3.5, and the Indianapolis Colts -14.5. That's a lot of points. Jack is on Denver -3.5, Buffalo -7, and Pittsburgh +3. A lot of favorites this week that we're on. We'll see how it ends up playing out. Me and Jack need some winners, guys. We really do. We're bringing you videos every week. I hope you guys are enjoying them. But what would make it a whole lot more enjoyable is if we brought you some winners. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new here. We'll be back with the Bears preview video of the Bears at Baltimore. Jack, any last thoughts for the fans at home?
Bears.